Hello, this is Sunil Sunder Raj with Top Preps High School Sports. Tonight, I'm happy to be speaking with George DeLeon, uncommitted baseball player, looking for a four-year college as well as getting into independent baseball league. George, thank you so much for taking some time out to speak with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
George, you have a really, said inspirational, background story here in terms of playing baseball and how you were able to move up the ladder. I first you sent me some information on your on growing up. It said you were born here in the United States in New York, moved to the Dominican Republic when you were 2 years old. I wanted to ask you when you moved to the Dominican Republic in terms of playing sports, picking up the game of baseball. Can you just tell everyone out there just what life was like there living in the Dominican Republic?
It was great, to be honest. Just the baseball over there, it rubs into you. Like, as soon as you go out in the streets, the first thing you're gonna see is kids playing bitilla, playing with little ball they made at home or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's easy to rub off and it's easy to get good fast because kids are competitive down there.
Yeah, because I mean, I can imagine you don't have all. I mean, like here in the United States, you don't have all the tools, all the resources in terms of equipment, and just talk about that. I mean, it must have been quite a challenge,
I mean, for me, I was kind of lucky because my dad did have the privilege. I had the privilege that my dad worked at professional baseball teams and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like for my friends, since I kind of related, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to bring my new stuff. I'd rather just play and make my own stuff like you guys. So it's like people really, really like would move out of the way for us to play in the street. Like that's how serious people are over there about baseball.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have the baseball diamond, you don't have the fields there. It's so I can imagine that. Okay, now you moved back to the United States when I think you were 18 years old. So talk about, here you are, 16 years there in the Dominican Republic, and now you have to move back to the United States. Talk about making that transition, George.
It was nice. The only part was that since I look a little older, coming to high school as an 18-year-old, which I look just like I look now, everybody thought I was older. But I mean, it was good. Everybody treated me good. Baseball was good. Can't really complain.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about Brandon High School in Brandon, Florida. That's where you played baseball. I was looking at some of your stats there. You did very well there in terms of it said I think 360 batting average, 480 on base percentage, 50 hits, 30 RBIs, 15 runs scored in 59 games played. Just talk about attending Brandon High School and as well as playing baseball there too, George.
It was pretty good. People really respected me as a baseball player since I kind of had a little bit of an idea what I was doing, like on my own practice and stuff like that. All my teammates really respected and gravitated to that. And the stats, I want to talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
Those stats aren't true.
Okay. All right.
They might have, because they might have mixed my fall stats with my season stats, and I only didn't want.
Okay.
But I ended up batting a little bit more than that. I don't want to sound cocky.
No problem. Okay, so you moved on from there to, I believe, El Paso Community College. Is that correct, George? Okay. Yep. Let's talk about it. I mean, you go from Florida, said there to El Paso, Texas. Just talk about, your time there.
It was pretty nice. Coach Romero was there at the time. He greeted me like all my other teammates. It was pretty great. The only bad part.
Yeah, go ahead.
The only bad part was me not being concentrated in what I wanted. And that really cost me a little bit because now I'm like, dang, if I would have just concentrated a little bit more, I could have gotten something more out of it.
Okay, from there, it said you had to make again another, you moved on to another college. If you want to let everybody know, in terms of moving on from there, from El Paso.
I did. I went to Rend Lake College in Southern Illinois. Okay. I played my year there, had a all right year. The stats were 300 average and stuff like that. But then after that, I had a decent year there. Got everything together. Got a good offer from Benedictine University in Mesa, and unfortunately, that didn't work out as planned. So I'm just after that, I left and came here, started working to get a little bit of money, and hopefully get back to the game.
Yeah, let everybody know what you're doing right now, where you're located, George.
I'm in Brandon, Florida right now.
Oh, you're back there. Okay.
Yeah, with my family. I started working at a car dealer actually without any experience.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I said, taking on new ventures, and I said that's commendable. I wanted to ask you, going from state to state, that's no walk in the park. I'm wondering how you were able to do that. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, just talk about that, George.
The funny part is I did all that in one car I was driving. And it was basically a nightmare because I was in my little beat up car, just driving 13 hours. The last one was 36 hours from Brandon, Florida to Arizona straight.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah. I had a little fun.
You have, I said, unbelievable passion. I said for baseball. Talk about that, George.
Yeah. I mean, baseball is pretty much what I've been doing since I had memory. So, and it's my dream to be at least a professional. And if I do get to the pro level, I am going to work to make it happen, get to the MLB. So all I need is a chance to play baseball and put some numbers up.
Hey, you look in tremendous shape. I mean, I said, and the great thing is that you're very flexible. You play multiple positions. Talk about that. I mean, your videos are mesmerizing. I mean, just hitting towering drives, to the outfield. I wanted to ask you about, putting in the work. I mean, you put in the grind here in terms of your training, man. George.
Yes, and more now that I have a little bit of time. I've never been big on gym. But now I'm just going to the gym every day. Yeah. And then when I have free time, I go hit in the morning and stuff like that. But it's just basically how I was raised in a working environment. Like I have to be working every day, or else I'm just gonna be bored, to be honest.
So tell everyone out there what position intrigues you the most, and that you feel you're best suited for, George.
It's this one's hard because I really love third base. Yeah, I love the hot corner. I love diving. I love getting the slide line drives to my face. But I mean, I feel more comfortable at first, and if I get put in right field, I have the arm. I feel like I don't like to brag about myself. I like other people to do it for me. Yeah, so I just show them. So, I mean, my favorite is third. Where I play good, both of them I can do first and third, and then right field is my secondary option, basically.
I mean, I know you listed some info that you also throw in the low 90s. I'm wondering, it said it's pitching also crossed your mind in terms. Hey, you seen Shohei Ohtani go two-way. I'm wondering if that's something that you aspire to be as well.
I've in Rend Lake, I did a little bit. I threw 87, 88, just without practice. But when I was younger, I blew up my arm, and I don't know about pitching. Maybe if I get a good pitching coach that can help me not hurt my elbow. Oh, okay. We could probably do something.
Yeah. It's interesting about the game of baseball. I mean, as much physical it is, you talked about not only strength training as well. Talk about the mental aspect as well, because I think a lot of people don't pay attention to that as well. That either when you're at the plate or you're in the infield or outfield, this is per se. Just talk about that as well, George.
To me, I feel like baseball, you have to have an approach for everything. Like if you're gonna do something one way, you can't be shifting from one way to another. You have to have one straight thought. If you go from there, you're not going to have a good time until you come back to that thought.
Yeah, no,
so basically just have an approach.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, I think you've done again outstanding job of also utilizing social media, and I ask athletes this quite a bit because we're in that age of the internet and social media where you have to get out your training videos, your work out there. It's your blueprint. It's basically almost like a resume for prospective colleges, and as you said, whether it's minor league baseball, professional. I'm wondering, said being able to uh, definitely dive into that part of it. Just talk about that, George.
Um, so to understand the question, can you
Just
shorten
as
it up
far
a
as
little?
social media, because you have your training
Okay.
videos out there. The fact that a lot of athletes are doing this, that it's really, I mean, I think it's worthwhile because then again, there are people out there, they're always scouring, social media. Hey, you know what? This could be the next, breakout star. That the fact that you're also tapping into that. I just wanted to ask you about that, how important that is to you.
So yeah, it is very important. I feel like it plays a big part in the recruiting process I was doing before and the one that I'm about to start doing again now. Yeah. So I feel like it is important to put videos up, make decent videos that people would see your skills and stuff like that. Yeah. And it does play a big part in what sport is today, I feel like.
Yeah, no, well said. I was just wondering, do you work, also with hitting coaches as well? I just was wondering about that on the side as well, George.
I have my personal hitting coach as my father.
Okay, that's nothing. That's the best that you can have. That's terrific. So just talk about that.
Oh man, it's fun because I mean, he's taught so many big players. Carlos Santana from the Kansas City Royals now, he's one of his own prospects that he made a big league player. And he's been working with Tampa Bay Rays organization. He used to work as a professional for more than 20 years. Yeah. So it's pretty nice having my dad as my coach because he can yell at me and I can actually understand it. Yeah.
That's great. Hey, a lot of famous Major League Baseball players from the Dominican Republic. I was looking at your Twitter. Manny Ramirez, comes to mind. I'm wondering if there are any other players in terms of, you're able to look at their videos because they're all out there, obviously, like YouTube and elsewhere. Anybody who, besides Manny or even like Manny himself, that you try to sort of take away any techniques, anything that you can, any tidbits or nuggets.
The main one would be Albert Pujols and David Ortiz because I have more of a coming down swing and standing up. Yeah. He does that perfectly. Every time I look at him hitting a ball as a line drive or home run, I try to save that video and study it as much as I can.
That's wonderful. You talked about support from your family. Besides your dad, if anybody else you want to mention, if you have siblings, I wanted to give you the floor as well, George.
Everybody in my family, my two sisters, my mom, everybody has always been supportive and always been there for me when it comes to baseball and life in general.
It's great. Okay, the final two questions I have, I think you're in a perfect spot. Your advice, your message for younger kids out there, athletes who want, to, again, achieve, the same goals that you want to, playing, one day, I said, whether it's college or, said minor league or professional baseball as well, George.
So the number one is definitely work hard and don't worry about what people say. And second one is do your homework. That's as simple as it gets.
That's great. Okay. I give you the floor, in terms of, I said, I know you're trying to reach, either, 4-year colleges, independent baseball teams out there, minor league, even professional, and, in terms of family, friends, former past schools, the floor is yours, George.
No, yeah, I just definitely want to thank all the coaches and the people that have been behind me and helping me. And just want to say that all I really need is a place to play. I'll ball out anywhere.
Sounds good. Hey, George, I can't thank you enough for the time. A true honor and privilege being able to interview you, and
Yes, sir.
wishing you all the best and continued success. And I hope one day we'll be seeing you, in the pros and on ESPN or one of the networks out there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate you.